Buyers becoming sellers. Have I lost my mind? Let's talk about it. This is Ryan with First to Pitch. So, the buyer-seller mentality. What is that? And no, I'm not talking about from a selling standpoint of bringing in or generating traditional sales revenue. That's not where this conversation is going. That's not what I'm talking about. But what I am talking about is, and I'll tell a story before I get there, is I was working for a company, didn't have the best financial situation, had almost zero volume, but an OEM, a director of sales within an OEM, chose to sell to us, chose to work to us. And it's not, again, because it's not the data, it wasn't the RFP, or the data wasn't the RFP, it wasn't our financial terms, it was none of that. It was, I was able to sell to him a buy-in, and he committed to it, and he followed through with it. When I left the company, he still had zero sales from our company. That's how small the volume was. He did a couple of quotes and whatnot, and you know, for what we are, who we were, and who we compared him to, he was the most aggressive in terms of both quality and price, and just the whole total cost of ownership. So that's what I mean by selling. If you don't sell, those opportunities won't come down the pipeline, and you don't optimize your opportunities. If you just always assume that it's about the data and that's how you're gonna get the best price, I don't know. It may or may not work for you. I'm not sure. You know, some of the bigger companies, the Amazons and Walmarts do that, obviously. But for the most of us, it probably doesn't bode well for you. So what I learned to do in the later part of my career, and what a lot of first to pitch is about, is making that sell. Setting the tone, anchoring their concerns, understanding their value proposition, and getting that initial buy-in from the seller. Through that, that's when conversation starts. That's when value starts. That's when collaboration starts. It no longer becomes transactional, but you have to make the sell. You have to persuade and influence in some way or manner. And that's where sales and your traditional salespeople, where they get it right. They know, they've been doing it for decades. And because of how traditionally buyers would do RFPs, would do reverse auctions, RFQs, whatever it is. They reacted to that, and through that, they learned how to get the most for their time. When they came and saw you, they knew they may have only a 30-minute or hour window to talk to you as a buyer. Most of it was, you know, filling out paperwork, emails, maybe a phone call or whatever. But when they had that time to talk to you, they made the most of their opportunity. So we as procurement people don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to take the relevant part of that and apply it to our systems and methodologies and use it to our advantage, leverage it. And it's one of those things where it's not their playbook versus your playbook. You're trying to create a partnership. The playbook is gone. Y'all know each other's playbook. To even get further into it, it's about execution. And execution is coming together and figuring it out and having that conversation. So that's selling. That's how buyers can sell. They beat the seller to the punch, not in a non-defensive way. It reassures him, he relaxes, the conversation begins, you get what you want. and when I say you, I mean both of you, the kingdom, the buyer and seller, they get what they want. Maybe that's what I should say. So that's why I said we need to start becoming sellers. We sell internally to our stakeholders. Now we can sell to our suppliers, and you will see the dividends pay in the long run. This is Ryan with First to Pitch. Talk to you next time.